All right, let's do it, y'all. Ty Butler Show. streaming live on YouTube. We are on Twitter at Butler. Hit me up in the comments. My man Julian Guilarte is going to join in a couple minutes here to talk about the abomination that is the New York Yankees. And somehow it's a recycled conversation from 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, last year. Because this time every season we are talking about how they look like the worst team in baseball. And what makes this, to me, different is the fact that the American League is so trash. The Yankees should be running away with this thing. And by the way, they better be lucky that they're not playing in the National League, because the conversation would be completely different. And folks are going to pull up with running the same tunes, playing the greatest hits of Fire Cashman, Fire Boone. Understandably so. The frustration is mounted from the fan base. But boy, if we were sitting here today talking about a Yankee team that was in danger of missing the playoffs, similar to what we did back in 2023, man, that would not even compare. And so the sky is falling, and I'm irate. I'm disgusted from what I've seen, but at least they play in the AL. Here's the thing. I was on the radio this past weekend, ESPN New York, and I guess in my own ignorance, I was someone who said, hey, if we were to simply draft teams that the Yankees could play as they are riding this 7-game win or losing streak, the number one pick would be the Minnesota Twins. Right? Makes sense. Since 2002, they've dominated the Twins to the tune of, coming into this weekend, the Twins were 45-127 against the Yankees. So it's easy. The great deodorizer, the Minnesota Twins. If you are looking to get your season right back on track, that's the team you want to play. And I was proven wrong, because in back-to-back games, they got spanked, man. They got absolutely embarrassed. And they are very fortunate that Minnesota on Saturday night blew a 5-run lead to Houston, and then yesterday got blanked by the Astros. Because instead of talking about a 5-game deficit headed into this massive 4-game series, we could very easily be talking about a 7-game deficit. But shout out, and it's weird, when are Yankee fans ever going to give a shout out to the Astros? Shout out to the Astros for taking care of business against Tampa Bay. And now we are set up for what should be a fun one at Tropicana. Cam Schlittler on the mound for the Yankees, and a massive start. And who better to talk about that stuff with than my man Julian Guilarte, who I met back at the Beach Bash back in 2024. And he was kind enough, him and his man Steve Brzezinski pulled up on me. And he hit me up after, and since then we haven't spoken much, but I'm scrolling through my timeline today and I saw him pop up, and I said, you know what, let's give it a try. So welcome to the show, Julian. How you doing today?
I'm good, Ty. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Even though you call me in late, I've been rambling about the Yankees for the past few days, so I might as well spread the joy and give you some thoughts. And I'm curious to see where you stand. I listened to your thing with John Jastrzemski, and I agree with most of that about how the division could be out of play if they don't wake up this series.
Yeah, and listen, if they played in the National League, like, the sky would actually be falling. Because that side of baseball, that bracket, presents you so many different challenges, whereas the AL, it's like, all right, who's actually good? And the Yankees, despite their struggles, still have a legitimate chance to win this division. And if they ever get healthy, they're the favorites to win the American League. But in the here and now, it's July 6th. We got to talk about what we've seen so far. And I just can't find anything encouraging about this team. Like, they can't hit. They tried to stage this fake rally at the end of yesterday's game, but because of the combination of the pitching, the rotation dropping off, and the injuries, we see Rodon's the latest to go to the IL. Duval has decided like he wants to be the worst reliever in baseball. Like there's no facet of this team that you feel encouraged about. And so I ask you, like coming into this series, like what do you think you're gonna get from them?
It's a very tough situation. I think the best case scenario you could hope for is a split. I mean, I would say everything you said is pretty valid. Like they can't pitch, they can't hit, and they can't play defense. So if you can't do any of those, where are you gonna end up? Not in a good situation. But the silver lining is that Cam is pitching tonight, and he has to be the stopper, like you also mentioned. He has to be shut down tonight. You have to see 7 strong innings, like 2 runs or less. Hopefully, a lot of strikeouts in the process. Just have a dominant outing and give the team a chance to figure it out offensively.
Yeah. So Cam Schlittler, a lot of people are going to say he's had back-to-back bad starts. I look at it as like 1.5 bad starts if you want to be technical, because he was rolling in that game against the Red Sox. Fifth inning comes. I think it was Ahmed Rosario who had the error,
Yeah,
and things just fell apart. And so they lose that game. And then last week against the Tigers, he was objectively terrible.
yeah,
But Cam, to me, has earned the benefit of the doubt. He's got a 2.08 ERA. He was 5 minutes ago in the conversation for Cy Young, talking about he's the best pitcher in baseball. And so, despite the struggles the last game and a half, I expect him to show up in a big game like this, pressurized situation. And he has been someone we've known to, be accustomed to pressure. We saw him in that game against the Red Sox, and
yeah,
they're now
absolutely.
against a team in Tampa who, yes, they've played pretty well, but they're bottom third in runs scored in baseball. And so I expect him to be awesome. I guess it's just a matter of who's going to start hitting for the Yankees, because
Yeah,
like people, it's so funny. Ripping Jazz, ripping Volpe, going at Austin Wells, Caballero, and I understand that. But man, Cody Bellinger, Ben Rice, can these guys show up? Like you're the stars of the team, and I understand, no judge. I get it. So you're being pitched to differently, but you
yeah.
need your stars to show up. And tonight's the night where we need to see something from Cody Bellinger and from Ben Rice. And how about they get off to I think they've trailed in something like 7 straight games. Get off to a good lead.
I agree with you 100%. And I'll also counteract the Cam Schlittler point. I don't even think the Red Sox start was necessarily a bad start. It was like a bad inning, like you said. And it was because the defense let him down. There was still like no earned runs on his ledger. So their defense, the unearned runs has been a catastrophe. Can they play some defense? Because the one thing the Rays do well is defense, small ball. And Cam Barrow is obviously a beast. So you have to try to keep him in the yard, which is going to be a big challenge even for Cam. So I think it's going to be a good game tonight. And yeah, Ben Rice and Cody Bellinger got to get going. I know Paul Goldschmidt too, but he's 38. Like whatever you get out of him is good. And I know he's going through it right now, but he was playing really well for a while. But he has to get it going too because they need him as well. So all three of those guys have to start waking up. Otherwise, they're not going anywhere.
And to your point, I'm not really all that annoyed by Paul Goldschmidt. I think he's over his last 21, and we saw this
Yeah.
last year when he got off to a really good start
Yeah.
and then kind of cooled off. But he's there for like veteran leadership, and here and there you expect him to have like hot streaks. But if if your season's coming down to Paul Goldschmidt, then you're not a good team.
Yeah.
So
That's a fair play as
he,
well.
he's the guy who like I don't really get annoyed by. The Jazz Chisholm thing I think is so interesting because here I am watching Austin Wells hit 151.
Yeah.
Anthony Volpe can't field a grounder and is awful at the plate.
Yeah.
Dominguez is like up and down. The entire team is a disaster, and yet everyone's coming for Jazz Chisholm. And I understand it because he is someone that can frustrate you. It's part of it is like he's so talented. Like you see the raw talent and the expectations are so high for him. But I feel like he's getting an unfair amount of blame because the entire team stinks. And yet everyone wants to
Yeah.
go at Jazz Chisholm. What's that about?
I think it's just because the errors too, but like he's not the only one making errors, and he's not producing as well as you would hope. Like to your point, because his OPS is only like 700, and we like him to be higher to 800, like he's done in the past. And he's still stealing bases, he's still hitting the occasional home runs. I think people get frustrated because he struggles with risks too. He's not a great risk
Yeah.
hitter, and they need that right now. But Jazz is part of the solution as well. Like he needs to get going, and he's had some good hits, but then he gets picked off on the bases, like with a run
Yeah.
down. So that's like another issue. It's just all compounding itself. Everyone's looking at a finger point, but I still think he's a good player, obviously, and he has to get going too. Like they need some homers from him. Like they got to start putting the ball in the seats again. I know people don't want to hear it, but they are home run reliant. When they don't hit them, they're really bad. So it's time to start hitting them again.
The Jazz thing too is like I saw him in the finale against the Tigers quite literally produce the game tying run all by himself.
Yes,
He has that infield single. He then steals second, steals third, comes home, and that ties the game.
that's what
And
you
so
love.
I still look at Jazz. I know people want to trade him. I still look at him as if the Yankees are to reach their ultimate goal, he could be a valuable asset. And again, I will acknowledge he is polarizing
He is
because of some of
polarizing.
the goofy stuff, right? And
Yeah.
he's also got a little bit of like the Robbie Cano too cool for school swag to him. And as
Mhm.
you mentioned, getting picked off yesterday, like that stuff is going to frustrate the hell out of Yankee fans. But I still look at the talent and the skill set, and I say I think that they can win with him. And so you just hope he turns it around. The one thing that jumps out to me is he talked about yesterday the team lacks focus
Yes.
a couple of days after Aaron Judge said the same thing. So
Yeah.
now I'm wondering
What's
how
going
is it
on?
that
Yeah.
how is it that an organization that is, and we all know the number, 17 years removed from winning a championship, every year is title or bust. You're putting all this money into your team. They get to the middle of the season and they lack focus. I know you're a big Knicks fan,
I am.
uh, right? So the Knicks, here's my comp. The Knicks last year suffered one of the most, and I was at the game, one of the most heartbreaking defeats in franchise history. Game one of the conference finals, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so to me, that motivated them all year long. And it didn't mean that they went the entire season without warts and without struggles. They had that two and
Mhm.
nine stretch, but they
Yeah.
were motivated all year long. And so I get to the Yankees, who got blasted by the Jays and are expected to be better. And I'm hearing the captain of the team question their focus, and then one of the best players on the team talk about the same thing. And I'm wondering what the hell's going on. Like, how is focus an issue for this team with so high expectations?
I did a video breakdown yesterday, like of the series, and I just noticed a few moments that it looked like it was correct though. Like if you just look at some of the plays, like I think they're right, but I don't know where it's coming from. Just like looking at some of the errors and some of the gaps and like some of the swings and like situationals with the bases loaded and stuff. Like everyone's trying to hit like the 5 run homer, like Judge is saying. It seems like when they're at the plate. And then the defense, I don't know what's going on, but 29 other earns in 15 games is
Wow.
unheard of. That's really disgustingly bad, and it's costing them a lot of games because these games are close because they're not hitting well. So I don't know what the issue is. Like it is very strange that a Yankees team that has not won in so long is lacking focus right now, especially without their best player, when everyone needs to be more locked in than ever. So that's a very big concern to me. I don't have a answer from where that's stemming from. Though. I really don't.
Yeah, and the margins are so thin because at like you're without Judge and Stanton, so that's your two best power hitting threats. You are compromised rotation wise with Rodon being out, and so you're not operating at peak capacity,
No, you're
which
not.
means that there is going to be a tremendous amount of pressure on you to make just the simple plays, and they can't even do that. And that's why we see them lose back-to-back games 11-4 and 6-1. And the problem is they're not just losing, Julian. They're getting their
Boat race.
teeth kicked in
Yeah.
by bad teams. The
Hmm.
Red Sox last place team, the Tigers second to last place in their division. The Twins, who they've owned for 24
Hmm.
a quarter century.
Yeah.
So so now you go into this series against Tampa Bay, who yes has lost two straight, but they're a really good team. I don't know how good they. I don't feel, and I'm curious to get your thoughts on this. So last year, I was sold on Toronto. Like I watched them, they passed the eye test for me. I know they didn't have the playoff success, but I'm like, man, this team's loaded, and you just saw it all over their faces. They operated with confidence.
They did.
I don't feel that way about Tampa, and so like it's going to take more for me. Like it's going to take more of them being great for me to be convinced that they are actually better than the Yankees. But if they
That's
go out there and win 3 or 4, man, I mean, the evidence starts to mount in their favor.
I actually agree with you. And at one point, I still thought the Blue Jays were the biggest threat in this division, to your point. Even though they're not quite that right this year and there are a lot of injuries, I really thought they were a bigger threat than Tampa Bay. But now the Blue Jays have taken a step back further, kind of. But there is only a
Yeah,
7.5 game gap, and the Blue Jays did erase that last year. So you still got to watch that a little bit. But I do agree about Tampa Bay. I think they're a little bit overrated. I feel like they're taking advantage of a poor American League almost. And the Yankees have contributed with that a little bit because they haven't handled their business against them, even when Judge was playing. And they also don't play well at the Trop, which is another concern coming into this series as
yeah,
well, to add to the mounting list of concerns. But yes, I do think the Rays will come back to the pack a little bit. The problem is that like the Yankees don't have Aaron Judge. So if you had a 7 or 8 game deficit with him, you'd be like, okay, maybe they could erase that with half a season. They get hot, the Rays go on a swoon again, like they did at one point this year where the Yankees flipped it. The Rays were losing almost every night. And the Astros did expose some things with that comeback and the shutout. So maybe the
yeah.
Rays will start to get cool. But like the Yankees are playing horrible baseball right now. So like I don't know. Is there a way the Yankees can get out of this thing and like somehow win a series here, at least split to tread water a little longer? But
Yeah.
I do agree with your large scale point. I don't have the Rays go to the World Series by any means.
So Aaron Boone obviously is going to be the one who takes the brunt of the criticism, and rightfully so. Like
Hmm.
you are watching, you are the head honcho of a team that every single year seemingly suffers this June swoon.
Yeah.
And so I get to I want to pull this up, some comments he made yesterday that I actually want to defend because Yankee fans were going at him. So here's what he said, and let me bring it down. Courtesy of SNY Yankees, he says he was asked about them being 10 for 91 with runners in scoring position over the last 15 games. And the quote here is, that's not necessarily what's ailing us. It's not helping when you're not popping balls out of the yard. You got to take advantage of opportunities. And Yankee fans, if you check the mentions, just went nuts.
I'm
If you
sure.
actually listen to the cut, I don't disagree with what Boone is saying here because to me, the number that pops out isn't the 10 of the 91. If we're looking at 10 of 91 with runners in scoring position in the last 15 games, the number 10 isn't the one that gives me more concern. It's the 91 because what that tells me is you're getting 4 runners in scoring position a game over your last 15. So he's right. Like they're not taking advantage of these opportunities. And so the production is going to come if they put more guys in scoring position. And so while
Yeah.
we can criticize Boone, and I'll be the first one to do it, I'll lead the charge. This quote to me is not, you know,
That
where
bad,
we
really.
should be
Yeah.
doing the criticism.
I agree with you. I didn't like some of the stuff, but that one's fine. I mean, it's kind of what I said before. They got to just hit homers. I know people don't like hearing it, but like the team doesn't play well without putting it out. That's what the Yankees are built on still. Like I know people want to think differently, but that's who they are. And the lineup's not doing a good job of doing that. And to your point, like yeah, they need to get some hits too in these situations. It is good that they're getting the opportunities, I guess,
Yeah.
but they're not executing them. And a lot of times when I look at these clips, it's either strikeouts or pop ups or like weakly hit ground balls. It's not that many hard hit outs in these situations either. That's the other thing that's more alarming about it.
And they've had their chances. Like the final game against the Tigers that they lost was
Oh
just
God, that
inexcusable.
one,
I
yeah.
mean, that's one of the worst losses of the season.
I think that's the top one for me because, like, first of all, not giving Goldschmidt the bat when he could just end the game and then having to do all these semantics with defense. Who cares? Just go end the game and let him get a sack fly. You don't have to worry about the defense then. And then the extra inning loss against the Red Sox was tough after they actually battled back and then they just
Yeah.
implode. Those two are the stickers right now. But to your other thing you said earlier, losing the series to the Twins puts me on edge at panic mode as a Yankee observer because, like, that's the team you're supposed to be, and it was the first loss since like 2014 at home to them in a series. So like you
Yeah.
know something's not right when you can't even handle them. And I know they're not as bad as they've been this year. Like they're actually decent around 500, but it's still a team the Yankees need to be better than.
It's so funny. So I'm driving back from. I spent the weekend in Jersey with family.
Oh, okay. Oh, because
Uh,
you did this beach bash, yeah.
yeah. Well, no, I actually wasn't at the beach bash.
Oh,
I
I didn't
went to
go either.
Jersey to visit my family, and I did the radio show yesterday morning. Hung out for a bit, so I'm driving home during the Yankee game, and as they're getting pummeled, I'm
Yeah,
listening to Susan detail that stat that if the Twins are to go on to win this series, it would be the first time they won in Yankee Stadium a series since 2014. And actually,
yeah,
my reaction to that was, I thought that it would have been longer since they won. 2014 feels sooner than what I
yeah.
imagined it
I
would have
guess
been
that's
for the
fair.
Twins. But yeah, it's a pathetic loss. You're concerned about Carlos Rodon.
Yeah, a little bit because he's had a lot of elbow injuries, and I know they say he might be able to throw soon, but the elbow is very tricky, obviously, and losing him really hurts because Brenton Beck's not ready for prime time, obviously.
Oh my goodness.
Brian Weathers is really struggling, and if they had a full rotation, I'd actually put him into the bullpen, but they can't even do that now, which is another issue. And Freed's working his way back, which is nice. I don't know what's going to happen with Carlos. I mean, I guess best case maybe he returns in like August or something. That's probably fair given the 15's AIL, little rehab process wouldn't be too
All-star
bad
break.
if it was a
Yeah.
clean 15, maybe. But hopefully, August for him, if there's nothing else that's wrong, we'll have to see how that goes. But I mean, to your point, they still have a good team when healthy, but the issue is they're smoking a lot of time, and there's a lot of time to wait for all this stuff to materialize and come back. Like, we still don't have a clear return date for Aaron Judge, which is the deeper concern out of anything that we've talked about, actually.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of problems right now. The only thing that erases them is winning.
The Judge stuff is like super, super worrisome and unnerving because, like you said, we don't have a return date for him. I also question, like, with an injury like that, when he does come back, is he 100%? Like,
I
we're
don't
just
even
never gonna
know.
know if he's
Yeah.
100%. He's always going to be one swing away from like re-aggravating it,
Yeah.
and then he's shut down for the season. And now you've got to win multiple playoff rounds and get through an entire month of October without something like that happening. Same thing with Rodon's elbow. Same thing with
Yes.
Freed, who's battled
Hmm.
injuries in his career. And
Yeah.
so you've got now three of your best players. Stanton, when he comes back, that's
Who even
four
knows
of
when
your
that's going
best
to happen?
players.
Yeah. Speaking of
Four
things
of
we
your
don't know,
Yeah, I've never seen a calf injury just last the entire season. It's crazy. It's so
I
what's so
don't know.
funny though. I remember because it happened a lot on my radio station, and just Yankee fans in general were just so in awe of how good Stanton looked to start the year, like physically, like he looked like he had lost some weight,
Yeah.
and then of course it's like he's been lost for pretty much the entire season.
Yeah, it's just a tough situation, and like you do miss his production because that's a guy that hits the ball out of the ballpark. Like they need a lot of those, so it's definitely troubling times. I mean, could they? Like I said, it's really just about winning the series or at least splitting it to tread water. If they lose the series, they're six back. They got lucky at only four back because of those two games mentioned earlier. So they still have it all there for them, technically, but not with the way this roster is playing right now. And the other problem is, Ty, there's no reinforcements coming. Like people are
Yeah,
asking for changes, but like where is it coming from?
I guess
Lombard
the
is
trade deadline.
yeah, but that's too far right now for how bad they're playing, unfortunately. Like that's still a month almost. That's the concern. Like 3.5 weeks, give or take, I guess. I'd like to see Lombard get up if he's healthy. That might be a fun way to try to solve some problems.
I so my issue with that, and I would agree with you. I just worry about, like, we're rushing guys up
Yeah, that's
just to
fair.
save us. And look, the Mets did it last year with Nolan McLean, and it worked. He was awesome. For the team, it didn't work. He was incredible, but
Yes,
different for a pitcher versus a position player.
it's true.
And I just don't feel comfortable. And I don't think the Yankees would do that. Like panic mode, bring a guy up who's not ready. Which brings me to Volpe. Where are you on Anthony Volpe?
I would send him back down again, but I don't know who's going to replace him. I think he needs to go back down because, like, he's playing horribly on both sides of the ball right now. He's just a hot and cold player, and right now he's cold. But the thing is that Jose Caballero is not the savior everyone's making him out to be. Like, if you look at the
Exactly.
numbers, they're not that different. between the players. Like that's a thing that people have to understand. But like Caballero is playing better defensively. Yeah, I mean as of late, and you need that better defense. So Caballero is starting today, and Volpe's on the bench. So at least they're trying it for now, and we'll see how long they want to hold on to this alignment. I think the lineup they put together today, if you take out Austin Wells, poor Austin, God, is the best lineup they could probably put together right now with the current roster they have. I think.
Yeah, I actually had a lot of hope coming into the season. I had some hope for Austin Wells
Me
because
too.
I just liked him as a player.
I, I
You
don't know.
mentioned the lineup, so I'll bring it up here. It just hasn't worked out, unfortunately. Like he can't
I
hit.
don't know.
He is
Yeah.
just an automatic out. And so tonight's lineup, we got Grisham in center, Ben Rice as the DH, Goldschmidt's at first,
Good.
Bellinger's cleaning up in left field, Dominguez in right, Chisholm's back. He's got the toe injury, so no harm, no foul there. Caballero's at shortstop, McMahon's at third, and then Austin Wells is catching. So I'm with you. I think this is your best defensive lineup
Yeah.
and as good of an offensive lineup as you're going to get considering all the injuries.
Yeah, because Rosario's kind of taken his nosedive too, but he has had a few timely homers. But other than that, he really hasn't done too much lately, and his defense is unplayable. And in a situation like this, you have to max try to save the defense with Cam pitching. They got to fix this catcher situation. How I don't know how they just keep running him out there when he's hitting 150. Just doesn't make any sense. And I had high hopes for him as well. I actually think has a lot of talent, but I don't know what's going on right now, unfortunately.
Yeah. All right. So prediction. What do you think we get in this series?
Um, I'll try to like I'll say they split it somehow. I can't say they'll win it, but I don't want to sound the doom's alarms. Yeah, I did a lot of that yesterday, so I'm just gonna say they somehow. I think the games they can win is that tonight, obviously. I think tomorrow's a bullpen game, so I don't feel good about that. The Yankees can't win bullpen games to save their lives. And I think they can maybe beat McClanahan, but Rasmussen owns the Yankees, and I expect him to continue to own the Yankees with how this lineup looks. So I could see like a win today, and maybe when Shane pitches, because they've hit him well before certain times, but he's been good. He's not quite what he once was. So I'll say they end up splitting and they tread water for now.
Yeah, I don't want to be dramatic and call tonight a must win because it would be silly on
It's
July
close. It's
6th.
very close.
But if you're not winning the Cam Schlittler start in this series, then it's just not going to look good for you.
Yeah, it's very close to a must win, I would say, for July 6th game.
Uh, any specific guys you're targeting at the deadline if you're the Yankees?
Yeah, Ryan Jeffers is highlighted on my bulletin board because they have to fix the catching situation. And I know he's coming off an injury, but he has hit a homer in the minors. And Hammy, it is tricky, but at the same time, the guy can really hit for a catcher. I know his defense might not be quite as good, but they need offense in the lineup from the catcher position, and he does that. Other ones are a little tougher to say. Definitely bullpen arms with the news of LeGrande going down. A high shoot would be Josh Hader, but I doubt that would actually happen. That'd be really good. I like this guy, Riley O'Brien from the Cardinals. I don't know if they'll sell, but he's been a good closer for them this year. Actually, Brazoban from the Mets. I would definitely look at some Mets relievers. Mets are
Yeah.
definitely going to be selling.
Luke Weaver.
Weaver reunion, maybe. I mean, if they were down, that would be good because he's really shoving right now.
Luis Torrens, the catcher.
I mean, yeah, he's better than what they have now, honestly. I mean, and they were talking with the Mets dangling Alvarez. You want Alvarez? That
Oh
would
my
probably
goodness. I
cost a
take
little bit,
Alvarez.
but
I take Alvarez.
I'll give you
I'm
another.
still high on Alvarez. Mason Moore is
Yeah,
another name I throw in there. What's the
that
other
would
guy
be
you got?
sick. Another guy who could be more of a sleeper, but I think you probably know Michael Walker would be a nice starter to stabilize the rotation in like the three spot. It's not going to cost the Scooble ransom or I don't think Joe Ryan's actually available, but if he was, that'd be sick. Then I would move a lot of stuff to get Joe Ryan because he's excellent. But I think Walker could be a good stabilizer, like as a good three, just to give them some depth to protect themselves from these injuries. And he's been very good for KC. He's a crafty veteran. I think he could be solid.
I noticed because you actually did mention him in passing, but Schoolboy is not on your radar.
I would like them to do it, but it's just like I don't know how realistic it is just because of what it would cost, and they also Granhe now, so I don't know if they would be able to move him. I don't. Would they ask for Lombard? I mean, if the Yankees could find a way to get him without doing Lombard, then yeah, I would definitely try to invest in Scooble for sure because he would save a lot of rotation problems if Rodon and Freed do have issues. we'll see what happens with that. I could, and then probably a spare outfielder or infielder too while we're at it because they need all the help they can get. I don't have those specific names right now though.
Last question for you is Aaron Boone. You feel like he's on the hot seat or no?
He should be. I don't know if he actually is, but in my mind, he would be. I would say if he gets swept, I would consider a change. Honestly, that's where I'm at. I've had enough. I mean, it's been 9 years of the same thing, like you said, the swoon in June and July, not winning in the playoffs, and all these stupid gaffes and stuff, and like it's just been enough. Like I don't. I think they could use a change in a lot of different areas, not even just him. But that's probably a topic for another day.
All right, Julian, I really appreciate you, man. Keep up the great work, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Ty. I really appreciate you as well. Maybe I can get you on my show soon.
Oh, absolutely. Let me know, man. I'll pull up anytime.
All
That was
right.
Julian Guilarte. He does a great job for MLB. He's a freelancer doing his thing. Plug your podcast and whatever other stuff
Okay.
you got going on here.
Okay. Follow us at Latino Sports. That's the company I do my reporting for. And then the JG Show Pod, all one word. And it's on all platforms. YouTube, search my name, Julian Guilarte, and you can find my channel.
So what we got cooking with the Latin sports, man? Was the World Baseball Classic like a big hit for you guys?
Yes, I covered it. I went to Puerto Rico and I went to
Nice.
Miami, so it was definitely a nice time. I got to talk to Miguel Garcia after he won the MVP, so it was cool. That was one of my favorite experiences, especially with the cultural stuff and PR. I like seeing all the
Nice.
different countries and backgrounds. So yeah, WBC was huge for us.
Nice, man. I love that for you. Keep it up, man. I appreciate you coming on the show. And anytime you want me on, just holler at me, bro.
Thank you so much, and thanks for thinking of me. I always enjoy doing this.
Absolutely. That's Julian Guilarte. Hit him up, follow him. Man, this is as big of a series, and I guess it's exciting. Um, Considering in baseball, you rarely get something like this over the course of an 162 game year. The NBA is dealing with that. The regular season not mattering, but as big of a series as you can have in July, if you are the New York Yankees, and they got to go out there and perform. You've got your ace on the mound tonight. So he, after a couple of rough starts, and look, not rough starts, one bad inning against the Red Sox, and then he was awful against the Tigers. He's got to go out there and perform. The problem is you don't know if him performing is going to be good enough, considering how putrid this offense has been. That's the issue. Are they going to forget hit with runners in scoring position? Shout out, Julian. Appreciate you joining. Forget hit with runners in scoring position. Can they get guys with runners in scoring position? Can they get them into position to score? And that's what we'll see tonight. But the lineup that they have out there, no Volpe. And the last time Volpe sat on the bench, they did win, which was Friday night at home against Minnesota. I think is their best offensive and defensive lineup. I go into games not expecting anything from Austin Wells, but you desperately need Jazz, Goldie, Bellinger, Ben Rice. Those dudes have to start hitting. It's as simple as that. We could talk about the rest of the lineup. Those four cats need to start producing. And if they don't, this team is drawing dead. And so, look, the lack of focus comments alarm me. Judge doesn't really talk like that. Judge is not the type of captain leader who's going to be out there, spewing that type of language. So when he says it, it absolutely resonates. And then when I've got to hear Jazz reiterate it, it's like, all right, man, what's going on? Why are we not focused? It's the middle of the season. You got blasted in the playoffs last year. You should be focused. You should be motivated. You should be trying to win a championship. No excuses. The hell are you not focused for? And that falls on the manager. I know it's become like the cool thing for Yankee fans to do to blame the manager. Nah, this is valid. Your team, you have players on your team who are questioning if they are focused. What is that about? What is that about? So figure it out. And it's funny, we all signing up for, hey, just split. 4-game series. You'll take the split. Which, yes, we would. But can we see you have some life? Can we see you go out there and show some pride? Come on, man. Go take 3 or 4. Go handle business. You take 3 or 4, all of a sudden that deficit comes down to 3 games in the loss column. And on Thursday night, which, I'll be on the radio, 7 to 9 p.m. ESPN New York. Then Friday with my man Bart Scott, 10 to 1. Saturday, 9 to noon. Sunday morning, Ty Butler show, 8 to noon. I'll be breaking it all down. Then I'm with Bart all next week. So then come Thursday, after you've taken 3 or 4, the tone of the Yankee conversation is completely different. It's like, all right, now they have survived the worst part of the season. Because I still don't really buy into Tampa. And maybe that is me operating in my own ignorance. Maybe that's a flaw coming from your boy right here. I don't feel the same way about the Rays that I felt about the Blue Jays last year. And I could be proven wrong. And if that happens, I'll be the first person to tell you I was dead wrong about these Rays. But it starts tonight with Killer Cam on the mound. And actually, in an odd way, what makes me feel better about his chances to go out there and not just win the game, but dominate, in addition to the Rays being a bottom 3 offense and run scorer, is the fact that he had that meltdown in the 5th inning against the Red Sox. And he also was objectively terrible against the Tigers. So he's coming off of 2, let's call it bad starts, which in an odd way gives me more confidence because great pitchers don't allow these things to snowball. They don't allow the tailspin. He's heard the noise. He sees the chatter. He understands the assignment. And what that calls for is for you to be at your absolute best tonight in this game to stop this losing streak, where they lost 12 or 15 games. And he can only do what he can do because he can't go up there and hit. He can strike out 15 tonight. And it won't mean a damn thing if the Yankees don't score some runs. So Trent Grisham, Cody Bellinger, Ben Rice, Jazz Chisholm, Paul Goldschmidt, the guys that I know I can count on, they have to deliver. I'm not going into this game talking about, hey, Austin Wells, man. I know what Austin Wells is. He's a 151 hitter. I know what he is. Caballero, Ryan McMahon, I know what they are. Grisham, Ben Rice, Paul Goldschmidt, Cody Bellinger. Get things started tonight. I'm talking about top of the 1st inning. I'm sick and tired. Set the kids down, get myself together, get nice and comfortable, put the Yankee game on. They're already down 4-0. Get things started. Reverse the blueprint. You're trailing too much in these games. And great teams don't allow that to happen. If you're a great team, you show a pulse and you make a statement in this 4-game series. Ty Butler, appreciate you guys joining. At Ty D Butler. Make sure you follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. Hit me up on TikTok as well. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We got the Ty Butler Show coming at you every single day. Shout out to Julian for joining us. He was awesome. We'll be back tomorrow to recap the Yankees, maybe get into a little bit of the Mets. Team USA, a couple hours away, 2 hours and 53 minutes away from kickoff. Team USA against Belgium. And that man Trump Your man's Trump put his foot down today. It was like, nah, get my man Balagan back in this game. So we'll holler at y'all tomorrow. Maybe talk some soccer as well. Oh, not maybe. We will talk some soccer after what we watched tonight. And so I appreciate you guys. But once again, at Ty D Butler. That's where you can find me. Peace and love. Deuces.